Hello there and welcome back. So today let's talk about story number 3. So in story number 1, two people attracted to each other want to be in the relationship, and it just needs a little bit of shine and polish, and the relationship is significantly better. Story number 2, two people both want to be in the relationship, but one or both of them have some sort of emotional blockage that makes it difficult for them to be in a relationship. Story number 3, and it's usually one person does not want to be in the relationship. They don't want to be with this person. They either don't love them, don't like them, aren't sexually attracted, and they still need the relationship though for some completely other reason than they want to be in the relationship. So they need some logistical problem in their life solved, and the relationship solves that problem for them. So they want something like, I just need to escape my horrific family life, and I need to get out, and if someone can sort of pluck me from it and rescue me and save me, anyone will do. The first person that will do that, I will attach myself to, and that'll be my relationship. Or it's things like, they need to, they want to come to America. They need a green card. They need to find someone, so someone who's going to provide that relationship to them so they can get to live here. Cool, fantastic. The first person that's going to agree to that, I'm going to do that. So there's this entire other reason for being in the relationship than they want to be in the relationship with this person. Now, the other way that it happens, that's all getting into the relationship. That secondary problem, that logistical problem is clear. But sometimes they've been in the relationship, and for whatever reason, whether it's abuse or neglect, or they're just incredibly selfish, or they're completely nuts, or whatever it is, they reach some sort of point where they just sort of have this mental snapping in the head, and they are done with their partner. They are just done. They either don't like them, aren't attracted, don't care about them, may not terribly respect them all that much, but they are just done. If they met their partner today, they wouldn't go on a first date because they would have no intentional desire to be in a relationship with them. But they can't leave just yet for whatever the logistical reasons are. They don't want to split up the family. They want to see the kid, the youngest kid graduate high school. They just can't afford to leave the relationship at this point. They need to finish whatever it is they're doing. Or they feel like they can't leave and have to pay a whole bunch of alimony and child support or whatever. So they no longer want to be in a relationship with this person, but they can't leave the relationship yet. So if you thought story number 2 had a whole bunch of gaslighting and nonsense and misdirection, story number 3 is even worse, because the person who wants the relationship, wants the love, wants the sex, wants the affection, is constantly trying to seek it out and get it from their partner. And they just want the benefits of the relationship. They don't want you. So there's this awful cat and mouse game of distancer and pursuer and trying to chase them down and find out what's wrong and how do we make it better. And this whole time, the person that doesn't want the relationship has to basically pretend like, no, really, I do want the relationship. It's important to me because reasons. But at the same time, still manage to keep enough of a wall up, enough of a distance, blame their partner enough that, for whatever reason, the love, sex, affection just isn't happening tonight. So it's a very, very frustrating and difficult situation because one person just wants to fix it, wants to make it better, wants the relationship to thrive and be good, and they are desperate that it is a story number 1 situation. But story number 1 gets better and fixes itself because both people want the relationship. the other person is open to the relationship improving. In this case, story number 3, the other person does not give a damn about the relationship, does not give a damn about the other person, doesn't care that they are using them, and is all very jaded and cynical about being with them. So you do a whole bunch of nice stuff for them. You beg and plead and try and get them in the counseling or read a book about relationships or whatever it is, and it's all just like you're bashing your head against the wall. Story number 1, where it's just sort of basic attraction, basic communication, basic comfort skills. Let's learn a little more about how to work together. That all resolves really quickly. I mean, people read a couple of books, within a month or two, they hit the gym, things get better really quickly. Within 2-3 months, things can be significantly better. But you can do all that stuff and more and even more, and it's just like smashing your head against a brick wall trying to get through to this other person who doesn't want you. The other way it can look is it can really try and look like a story number 2 situation where, they're just too hurt or broken or damaged or whatever it is that, they just can't really function too well in the relationship. But if them being in the relationship is basically based on, I have this horrible problem in my life. I have this big old elephant in the room, and I am never going to fix it. I am never going to face it. I am never going to work on it. And the only reason I am in this relationship with you is that you are never going to push me on it. You're never going to try and make it better. You're just going to leave that alone. And if you push me on it, I will end the relationship, because your job is to help me never face my problem, never face my inner demons. Your job is just to shut up and accept it and help us all work around it. So story number 3 is awful. It's awful because there's a good person who wants a relationship, loves the other person, and they are just stuck with this no-win scenario. Sadly, the only way the story ends and can resolve is, well, sometimes that other person, they get their secondary need met. They no longer need you, so see you later, goodbye. And sometimes they only finally just do something that's bad enough, rude enough, insensitive enough, just obnoxious enough that the person that wants the relationship goes, kind of gets that splash of cold water in their face and like, oh, they're never going to love me. I don't even know if they like me. But this has been over for a long time. This has been over 3 years ago. And I can honestly say I've been done a lot of coaching with people where they come to this realization that, the game was always rigged against us. It didn't matter what we did or what we tried or what we hoped for or planned or strategized for. It didn't matter how good we did things. It didn't matter how well the plan was executed. It was never going to work, because the other person is determined to not have an intimate, connected relationship with you. So it is very sad. It is very unfortunate, but you're stuck in the situation where all you can really do is chart an exit strategy, because they don't want you. They just want what you do. So that's it for this video. I know that's kind of bleak, but we got to face reality here. And tomorrow we'll come back and we'll talk about story number 4. I'll talk to you then.